Hey, I'm Matt, and this is Let's Talk Music. Excuse me. I'm here with the Stone Eye. Had to clear my throat there. Band based out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We have three of the guys joining us tonight. We have Jeremiah. We have, I'm trying to find my press release here. Jeremiah, Stephen, and Christian.
Correct.
All right. So I'm taking it that you are Christian, the guy with the guitar there.
No. So, Steve, Christian, and Jerry's on the bottom.
Oh, okay. See, it's not showing me names.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, you're good, man. Don't worry about it.
So, all right, guys. Well, listen to your tune. Really enjoyed it. It's the new single, Donora. And, it put me in mind a lot of Alice in Chains. I don't know that you guys feel uncomfortable being compared to that. And if you do, I'm sorry. I'm just saying that like the lyrics really put me in mind of Alice in Chains, but your music was freaking phenomenal. I mean, it was ever changing, and that was really cool. It was I think around 3 minutes when you guys got the little breakdown there, and then it goes into another part, then you got another breakdown and another part. So I mean, it was a kick-ass jam, man. I really enjoyed it.
Thanks. I really appreciate it. And the Alice in Chains part isn't off-putting at all. I write a lot of the music, and I mean, I basically learned how to play guitar playing along to Alice in Chains. Like, I had like a dirt tablature book that, I got when I was like 11, and that's pretty much how I learned guitar, just playing along to dirt. So,
yeah, Jerry's a hell of a guitar player.
Oh wait.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I never got to see him with Lane.
Yeah, not me, Christian. I wish I was the guitar player of Alice in Chains.
Yeah, Jeremiah. We call Jeremiah Jerry too.
Yeah.
That's why there's that confusion.
Oh, okay. So you could be like Jerry Cantrell Burton.
Yeah.
yeah.
Terry Cantrell played drums, then perhaps.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it all. Or Mike Starr was the good drummer for
Sean Kinney, actually.
Was it Mike Starr was God? You guys I'm all screwed up tonight, man.
You're good.
No, yeah, but going back to Sean Kinney's definitely like one of my favorite drummers. He's his playing it's very sparse, but like he knows when to kind of add some flavor to the tunes and his real groove. I mean, I think his highlight drum performance would be No Excuses. That drum beat is just absolutely so creative and so flavorful, and it's just that song is definitely like one of my favorite Alice in Chains songs and one of my favorite drum beats in general.
Is he still currently playing with them?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's been going strong. I think him and Jerry Cantrell have been the only two members who have been around the entire time, I'm pretty sure.
Well, yeah, the other two are dead. So
yeah. Two of them died, and then Mike Inez joined. Well, Mike Inez joined in like '93, so he's practically an original member at this point.
Yeah, because I remember
joined, like right after Star left.
When I seen him in concert, the drummer had a double bass and it said MS and LS, for Mike Starr and Lane Stanley. So that was really classy, and that was the only time I ever seen him. But we're not talking about Alice in Chains. We're talking about you guys. So tell me about the single, man, Donora. What's the meaning behind it? Because it was kind of, let me think of how I can put this. It was in the beginning, I was like, okay, I'm kind of catching on to the meaning, and then it was all over the place. So, and that is very alternative grunge type music. And I just, what's the meaning behind the song, or is there any at all?
I think in regards to meaning, it more so is atmospherically trying to paint a picture of dread and moodiness, because I think that fits the tone of the song. And then with the title Donora, there's the whole Donora like smog incident, which happened in the 40s, where it's basically like all this smog got trapped like underneath the clouds and basically like rained down like acid and like killed like 20 people. So I thought that kind of tied into like the lyrics that were already written and like the whole atmosphere and everything of with it. And I thought it was a good song title, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and kind of going off with what Steve said, when we were touring, we kind of like drove past the road sign, and Steve, like I remember Steve mentioned to us, he was like, "Huh, Donora, why does that sound familiar?" And then we like looked it up and read about the story, which is it's definitely like a interesting yet tragic sort of side piece of American history. But yeah, I do remember that moment where Steve kind of like had the light bulb sort of go
Yeah.
off in his head for the title of the song.
Yeah,
I'm
I
I'm
was
gonna
like,
check that
Denora.
out, guys, because I'm almost 47 years old and never heard of that.
It happened in I believe 1947 or 1948. It was in the late 40s. It's very interesting to read about and sad, but yeah, I mean, I had all these lyrics written out, and like there's not one specific meaning. Rather, it's about like trying to paint a picture. And I thought the title Denora kind of encapsulated that you know that mood. And yeah, that's pretty much what I can say about the meaning of the song.
So what about the like you guys made a lyric video? Are you going to make an actual video, or are you just cool with that?
We're sticking with just the lyric video for Denora, but the upcoming three singles are gonna have proper music videos. And funny enough, we actually were recording one of them today. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, so yeah, Denora is just gonna be a lyric video. It just came down to timing. Like we just didn't really have enough time to conjure up enough resources to get a video, like a proper video out for it, with the deadlines that were put in place. So we kind of just like, all right, like some content is better than no content. Let's like make a little lyric video for it.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna call you out, dude. You're like all quiet over there. What's your story?
In general, I mean, I play guitar and other things for the Stone Eye, and
Directing the new music
I
video.
directed the music video we did today. And
Awesome.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very.
And he's currently playing bass on our live performances, multi instrumental. Does a lot of in the bridge sections. He's the one that's harmonizing with me.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he also plays keyboards on the song, and yeah, very talented musician.
It sounds like it. Yeah, I mean it's that's been kind of just a theme lately is everybody that I've talked to. I mean, they play multi instruments. They produce, they do their videos. Some guys are mixing everything else. It's like, wow, it's hard for me, I guess, to understand how all that runs together because I'm a music lover. That's why I do what I do. I really enjoy what I've been doing lately. For about the past year, I've done, I think, 100 and something videos. I've been talking to people from all over the country, all over the world, and it's exposed me to so much different culture and music and whatever. And it's been great because I was so closed minded. I was like, heavy metal, that's it. Slayer, Megadeth, Metallica, and then I got my 80s and 90s rock, Poison, Def Leppard, and whatever. But this doing this has really opened up my eyes. And I I really, when alternative and grunge came out, I hated it because it killed my hair metal. But I you know I could never, I don't understand, and I might get some fu comments in my whatever. I could never get into Nirvana for some reason. I did not, I was not a big fan, but I liked Pearl Jam, I liked Soundgarden, I liked Alice in Chains. There was I guess I think it was because Nirvana was like the first one to come out big, and that's what just bam killed the hair metal. And I was like, man, sex, drugs, and rock and roll are gone. Now we're wearing flannel shirts and depressed.
No, I mean, I get you. I mean, the thing with grunge music is like it's so like different. It's labeled grunge, but like all the bands sound pretty different. And going off what you're saying about like 80s, 90s, like metal, like whatever. like Slayer, Megadeth. Like I feel like out like some bands like Alice in Chains, Soundgarden would fit more that like musical mold, whereas like Nirvana, like they're a lot more just punk. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Punk rock. So it's just, I think it's just like a totally different genre within the genre. So I understand what you're saying.
So,
And,
go ahead, Bob.
oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, and it's interesting. I think that the hell was that? No, it's the wind. It's the wind.
Oh yeah.
It's like really windy here. But I think being in the grunge alternative genre, it kind of it allows us to pursue a lot of experimentation in terms of
Mhm.
like introducing like prog rock and like other really weird dissonant stuff, And so I think being influenced by a certain era of music has allowed us to also like pursue a lot of like
Experimentation.
experimentation and mixing of genres. And so I
Different
think,
avenues, yeah.
yeah, it's been a very natural evolution of this music.
And I mean, you guys, like I said, you nailed it with this song. I hadn't heard anything else. I just took the press release that Allison sent me and read that, listened to the music, and it's the I love how it keeps changing. It's not just the same riff or the same drum beat throughout the song. It's just bam, 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 bam. I mean, it's what, about a 4-minute song maybe, and throughout the entire thing, it's just different, and that's what's awesome about it.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean that's I think it's as a songwriter, that's what appeals to me, to try to keep the wheel moving. You know what I mean? Not have a dull moment in a song. And then also like experimentation in general is just it's just fun. It keeps it interesting. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah.
And yeah, I mean it's just a songwriting principle for me personally, is to try to cut out the fat of a song and just get to the meat of it. You know what I mean?
I like
And
that.
also for this particular album, we sort of kind of hunkered down in the practice room and just kind of jammed for several hours a week for months, during COVID when there was nothing much else to do. So that made the whole process much more collaborative than it had before, because we would kind of bounce ideas back and forth and try to decide, does this part work here? Like, does this chord work here? Does this drum beat fit the guitar? Does it fit the bass? Sort of bouncing ideas back and forth, like I said. And I think this song is definitely a really good example of that, because according to Steve, he told me that originally he kind of had the riff in his mind and he was thinking of like sort of a short little punky tune, but the rest of us sort of had like this a bit like of a broader idea about like where the song could go, and obviously he was open to it, and so it was definitely like a very collaborative process, like for the entire record and also for this song in particular.
Oh
I'd
man,
like to download the record, because, like I said, I really enjoyed how mixed up it was. And Jeremiah, hats off to your drums, man. You was I said it kind of moved around, and with the guitar, with the lyrics, everything. It was like you guys took a big old idea and threw it in a blender and poured it into a glass and said, "Listen to this shit."
I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And there's another song on the last song on the album, "In Lieu of Roses," going back to what Jeremiah said. I remember that song, Jerry. It was kind of like, I had the chord, or I had the like the bow 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 bow, and I had like the little chorus. And then I came in with that other song, that like what became the middle section. And then I think it was Mike that was like, why don't we try adding it as one big song? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So then the 9-minute epic just ended
Yeah, it
up
was,
sort of
yeah.
happening, and it happened naturally, and we all agreed on it, and we all thought it
Well,
fit
Jerry,
together.
on the album, like 11 and a half or something. Like,
Well,
is
that's
the,
what the bonus
oh,
track.
yeah.
Shh, it's a secret.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, like, I understand, that you guys are influenced by, like, Alice in Chains and stuff, but what is it that, I mean, y'all seem pretty young. So
Mhm.
what is it that like really made you start doing what you're doing? I mean, you play drums. We got guitar players, singer, songwriter. Where I'd like from each of you to tell me what made you think this is what I want to do.
I mean, for me, it's simple. I listened to Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix, and it captivated me at a young age. And I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Yeah, I just play it on repeat. I'm like, wow. And I was also really big into like CCR too. I like the first CD was CCR Greatest Hits, and Fortunate Son is a banger. But yeah, no, I just listened to these records like, wow, this is amazing, and made me want to play guitar. And then from there, I was just captivated and, found Alice in Chains and found other musical love interests that, it was just like I listened to this music and I was like, wow, this is so magical. I
But what
want to
about
do something like
what
this.
about the singer songwriter part? How'd that come about?
The singer part came out of necessity. Honestly, like we never found a singer, so like, yeah, like I was just singing out of necessity, and the songwriting part, I don't really know where it came out of. It kind of just, it's like I don't know. You play in a cover band for 4 or 5 years in middle school, and then you're kind of just like, all right, like now what? And then you just pick up the guitar one day and you start strumming chords, and you're like, oh hey, this is kind of sounds like cool, and it's a piece of shit, in retrospect, your first song is awful. But like, yeah, that's how it begins though. It's like, I don't know, you just start strumming, you're like, oh hey, cool, I can do this. And then it's like, oh cool, I just wrote a song. What if I write another song? Like, oh, and I write another, oh, it's getting better. And it kind of just goes from there.
All right. How about you, buddy? How about what's your story?
Uh, I started in listening to like Iron Maiden and Megadeth and like at
Yeah.
a young age like jazz and classical and stuff. And so what I got from Iron Maiden is that I want to make music that's really epic and harmonized and melodic. And then that slowly became more complicated music like prog rock. And
Mm-hmm.
then for me, actually, it's a weird transition because I ended up going into classical music, and so what I'm trained to do is to write classical music, and so um, I write like now like really weird like kind of avant-garde stuff. And with this project, I actually get to have like an outlet for that, which is like fantastic. But yeah, just like epic metal transitioning into prog rock, transitioning into weird shit. So.
So you a Dream Theater fan?
Yeah, but I'm like I'm more into like both older stuff like King Crimson and Frank Zappa, and
Okay.
then newer guys like Devin Townsend and stuff like that. I'm wearing a Devin Townsend hat, and so like just like that kind of vein. But yeah,
There's his plug. He just said I'm wearing a Devin Townsend hat. I'm
yes,
wearing a Monster hat. Monster sponsor me.
yes,
Hell yeah, brother.
they're the same thing. No.
But yeah, I mean, how about you, Jeremiah? What got you into it?
Yeah, so my dad, he played drums for many years, and he showed me like lots of different varied styles of music, like anything from classic rock to world music, like Fela Kuti from Nigeria, or like Osibisa, who is like another world music band. So I kind of like grew up listening to a lot of like funk and like sort of world rhythms, but also classical music. And then, as I grew older, I discovered, metal. I discovered, Cannibal Corpse, Rage Against the Machine, Tool. And as I started to improve my drumming, I kind of realized, like, oh, I just want to, challenge myself. I want to, play music that's difficult, that's creative. And so I ended up joining up with Steve. I was about, I think that was like 2013, 2014. And that was the first time where I'd begun like writing my own drum parts for an original song, for original songs. And then like as we progressed, started playing out more. And then in college I was a music minor, and I studied jazz and like Latin percussion there too. So
Okay.
like sort of all of these influences ranging from classic rock, jazz, world music, they all kind of sort of mesh together, and progressive music too, progressive rock, prog metal. I love guys like Danny Carey is like probably my favorite drummer ever, of course. But I also love guys like Jimmy Chamberlain from Smashing Pumpkins. Like his hi-hat technique, where he kind of goes like, you know, like this on the hi-hat with his left foot, you know, with each
Right.
eighth note. That's kind of like basically what I do, because I think it adds something and it helps keep time. So and also guys like Billy Cobham from Mavish Orchestra, jazz fusion. He's like an absolutely incredible player. And then guys like Matt Garska from Animals as Leaders, and Thomas Hockett from Meshuggah too. But also, you know, sort of like the old jazz guys like Art Blakey, Elvin Jones. You know, those guys like are all like huge influences on me, and like I've kind of sort of tried to, you know, incorporate some of those progressive elements in our music, when also sort of kind of coming from my own background, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So when you're jamming, man, I mean, you know, you're sitting there and you're laying down your beat and stuff. What goes through your head as far as an influence then? I mean, are you thinking, okay, this song needs to be Danny Carey, this song needs to be, you know, the classical or the jazz? I mean, how do you, when you lay down the tracks, what goes through your mind?
I don't know. I mean, when you're kind of working something out, you know, you kind of bounce ideas back and forth, and you know, you kind of want to do something that, one, is interesting slash fun to play, but two, and most importantly, fits the song, and you know, not to overplay or anything. Because like when I was younger, I would just completely like overplay, just do crazy fills like for no reason, you know.
Right.
But like you know, as I've gotten older, you know, I've obviously like chilled a lot more with that, and like playing purposefully is like definitely a big thing. But you can play purposefully, but also, you know, make it interesting and make it creative, I think. But in terms of like just pure improvisation, you know, like when you're just up there just having, you know, a 15-minute jam, you're just kind of like cycling through all these ideas, sort of like following the guitar player. Like sometimes they takes the lead, sometimes I take the lead, you know. So it's just kind of, you know, bouncing back and forth. And when you have like the sort of musical chemistry that we have for playing together for so long, it's like, you know, it sort of comes naturally, like in the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah, they going off of that, like in regards to like drums and all that. Like sometimes, like I'll be like, "Hey Jerry, why don't you try going like, you know, boom boom clack?" You know, I don't speak drum, but like I know I'll be going like,
You
you know,
don't
like
think
how
through
about
your knees.
yeah. Like I'll be saying like, "Hey man, like why don't you try doing like this with the snare, that with the kick or whatever," and then you know, and then build something around that. And then sometimes Jerry will be like, "Hey, why don't you like." With the chord, like he can't speak guitar, so he'd be like, "How about like instead of going bum, you go bum?" You know what I mean? So it's like, so like you know, in the end, it's like you know, like everyone has their own like vision in their head in regards to how their part should sound in the end, but it is a collaborative effort that tries to you know hone in on what the song needs.
So
You know,
your guys' songwriting process.
Hmm.
Or I know you say you're like the primary singer songwriter. So does everybody kick in their own ideas, or is it just you?
no, that's everyone.
Yeah, so the best I can describe it is that the foundation, the majority of the time, is provided by Steve. So
Mhm.
it's kind of like the kernel of like a singer songwriter idea. Like, oh, I have this riff and this kind of melody, and then we almost interpret it and then sort of like critique it, and then we'll bring some like our own like parts and our own ideas into it. Like for example, with this song, um, I would say like the verse and chorus are pretty much just pretty faithful to what Steve had originally,
Mhm.
and
And the
then
whole bridge is like
the
pretty
bridge is like
much.
everybody throwing stuff in, and like that the really chaotic part of the bridge is Jerry's drum beat. For like it's driven by Jerry's drum beat, I would say. Like, and I think it started with a weird riff that Steve had, and then Jerry did the speed around it, and all the other parts kind of
Fell into place.
yeah, they fell into place and like were fitted to the combination of the drum beat and the guitar. And so it was like, I don't know, it's usually Steve starts it, and then we add everything else. So yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, just like you have an idea and you bring it in, and you're like, all right, guys, this is the idea. You like the basis of this idea. All right, time to fuck it up. You know what I mean? You know, that's kind of how it goes. You
Yeah,
know.
Steve's the idea, and we're the blender, I guess.
Mhm.
Yeah, and this is what I was looking for here just a second when I was looking down. Is Donora is a song that began with one creative direction in mind and ended up veering off the side of a cliff by the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great way to explain it. I mean,
Yeah, that's literally what happened. Like I brought it in. I'm like, all right, there'll be this to the point, like dun 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 dun, chorus, whatever. Like and then like by the end of it, it was just like we have all this crazy shit going on, and like and then he's like playing like these like what's that beat, like an Afro-Cuban beat or whatever.
The clave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like an Afro-Cuban 6/8 sort of beat with a 2/3 clave pattern underneath, which is accented by the bass and the bass drum. So
dude,
it's
I know
like
exactly what that is. I played no. I'm just kidding.
but that's what I mean. Like that's what I mean though. It started off with this like simple, just like, and I can play it. Probably sound like shit on this, but like
I'll do it.
yeah, I just start off with that riff and the chorus, and I'm just like, oh, to the point, rock and roll. And then before you know it, there's like Afro-Cuban with like the 2/4 bass on top of the chimes and this, that, and the other. I'm like, all right, like it sounds sick. Let's roll with it,
Do you take your guitar to the bathroom with you?
Sometimes.
Okay.
you
Just
never know when inspiration might strike.
Yes.
Right.
Unironically, that's true.
Well, I was just asking because I'm sure you guys know who Dimebag Darrell is.
Yeah.
That's what he used to do. The dude would take his guitar everywhere with him into the bathroom. He slept with it, and ended up being one of the most influential guitarists of all time. I mean,
Yeah. What?
Well,
What's your excuse?
Well, have you seen the Gibson Icon series? They do the Gibson Icon series. They did one with Rax, the bass player of Pantera,
yeah.
like a week or two ago, and he goes into depth about like how Dimebag was like not that good at guitar, and then like 3 months later, like he didn't leave his room for 3 months and just like played along the Van Halen records, and he came out as like the Dimebag Darrell we know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's like they used to say, who was it? I think Bobby Thompson sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah.
Could not play guitar for shit. And then he went away for like a month and came back one of the baddest guitarists ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. I mean, so what's on the horizon for 2023, guys? We talking some more singles, we talking some touring, what we doing?
Yeah, we got a tour in the works. We have an album, obviously, and we got 3 more singles. And yeah, that's what's on the horizon. So quite a bit.
Okay, so I mean, Philly's a good area to like jam, and Jersey, and I mean, there's all kinds of New York City, all kinds of clubs around there. I mean,
Hmm.
East Coast has been I'd say the East Coast has been right up there with the West Coast as far as producing music.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
I got a invite from a band that I interviewed not too long ago, Society One. He's invited me to come out to Whiskey a Go Go. I'm like, dude, I'm in Ohio. I'm not going to make that show. my
Yeah,
my wife is not going to justify me paying $600-700 for a plane ticket out and back to see a show. She's not going to happen.
Yeah.
well, I mean, we'll probably be in Ohio in the next 4 or 5 months. So
That'd be great.
uh,
Man.
yeah, so I mean, I can't divulge too much information in regards to that, but we'll be around for sure. I mean, we've played in Columbus a bunch.
Really?
We were in Columbus last May with Smile Empty Soul.
Oh, I think I
we're-
remember that.
Yeah, we played. You guys have that little entertainment venue that's like across the street from minor league baseball stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. We played in like the it was called like the basement or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the
You
last
got
time
the
we were in
A&R
Columbus.
bar, then you got the basement, and then you got the LC Pavilion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We played in the basement last year in May. So
Yeah, I did an interview with Adelita's Way before they played in the basement. So I mean, it's a nice little venue. I mean, fun to play. It's great.
yeah, I remember. Yeah, that show was a lot of fun from what I remember. And the
Yeah, I mean,
crowd, I remember the crowd was pretty great.
oh yeah,
That
man.
show.
We love music here in Columbus, dude. there is country, there's R&B, and there's rock. That's us. That's how we do it. They got a big country concert coming at the Horseshoe, that the Buckeye Stadium this year. We have Sonic Temple coming back, which used to be Rock on the Range. We have Incarceration of a Mansfield. I mean, Ohio is a music state, dude. I mean, we're better known for music now than cow tipping.
Oh yeah, you drive through Ohio, and there certainly is a lot of cow tipping. It's weird. It's like outside of like Columbus, Cleveland, Cincinnati, whatever. Like the rest of the state, it's like cow tipping lands, like just
Oh
flat
yeah.
cows
Well,
everywhere. It's crazy.
Dayton's a little bit rural too, but
We played in Dayton. We played in Dayton in that same tour. Yeah, we played at Blind Bob's.
okay, yeah,
Dayton's cool because there's this band called Guided by Voices that came from Dayton, and I love Guided by Voices.
Dayton has a lot of good bands that came out of there. Springfield, you got John Legend, comedian Dave Chappelle.
Oh, he came from Dayton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
I didn't know that.
Halle Berry is from Cleveland. I mean, we actually Dave Chappelle lives in Cincinnati now. So
Yeah,
That sounds right.
I think I knew that. Actually,
yeah, we got all kinds of like people that expand out from Ohio. They just keep it quiet. They're like, we ain't from Ohio. But no, guys, since you're sitting there holding a guitar, man, let me hear you rip off a little riff. Oh, see, that's gonna give me a copyright claim.
Shit. Well, if we play any Stone Eye songs, you'll unironically get a
He
call.
done play Smoke on the Water.
I don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that. I mean that's Hey Joe, so you're gonna get another copyright for that. But
Nah, I don't give a shit. Fuck it, it's worth it. I love to hear people play. I actually had I did an interview with a lady from Italy, and she has classical singer training, and she did she says she was from medieval town Italy, which is right outside of Rome, and she was like, my Wi-Fi is medieval too. So in the back, and like she would freeze, but her voice went through it. I mean, she's got an operatic background. She was awesome. What beer are you drinking, man?
Dude, only the finest beer, Coors Light.
Oh, I got some bourbon.
Oh, there you go. Well, nothing wrong with that. Hey, Jerry, what are you drinking? I saw a little can.
I was having a White Claw actually.
Oh,
I finished it though.
Jerry, try some bourbon. It'll put some hair on your chest.
Yeah, that's what
I
need.
I actually have a nice bottle of bourbon here. But I prefer gin personally, like gin and tonic. That's like my go-to.
Okay. Yeah,
And
gin.
trust me, I do drink beer. I do.
Gin.
Yeah.
I'm not picking on you, man. I'm just saying, gin to me is like drinking a Christmas tree. It like a pine
That's
tree.
what I like about it, honestly. It's nice and like piney and herbal.
Yes. See, I like.
Add a little pomegranate juice to that. It's perfect.
Dude, he's like shaving the chest off your hair right now with comments like that. Add a little pomegranate on that,
Oh yeah.
I've only got a little bit right in here, so I can't have him shaved off.
Hell yeah.
But nah, guys, it's been really fun, and thank you for talking with me. And
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You guys did a hell of a job with that song. Like I said, and you was talking about Acid Rain from the Donora. If I was doing acid and watching that lyric video, I'd been like,
yeah, well, dude, I mean, there's a good idea, right?
Right. So, but yeah, man, if you guys are heading out this way, look forward to seeing you, because it's been all, like I said, awesome, man. All these publicists, I'm working with like 3 record companies and like 12 publicists now, and they're exposing me to so much stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, I didn't know this existed. And I'm proud to have you guys on, and I'm proud to, have listened to what you guys have created. And you know what? Just keep doing you guys. You're jamming, you're making good music. And like, I mean, shit, I looked at your YouTube video. I mean, you got almost like 4,000 views in, a few days. So you're doing good. You
Thanks,
got,
man.
Thank
you
you.
got a lot of Spotify views. Or Spotify listens. I mean, you guys, your numbers are great. And I mean, you got to be proud of yourselves.
Thank
Well,
you.
thank you. Yeah,
Thanks,
we certainly try to be, even though it can be hard sometimes. But
I
we
understand,
appreciate
man.
it.
I mean, it's easy to give up, but you guys keep pushing and just make your music, and you know what? It'll fall in line.
Well, thanks, brother. I really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks,
and
man.
yeah, definitely keep an eye out for your listeners as well. Keep an eye out. March 10th is our next single. It's going to be radically different than Donora. It is like acoustic guitar driven. It's like acoustic
I
guitar
would not
driven
expect
rock.
anything less.
It's gonna be fucking weird. And then the whole album comes out April 28th. And there's a lot of music on that, a big variety of music. And we're excited to release it and share it with everyone. So
That's the day after my birthday, so I'm looking forward to it.
well, there you fucking go, man. You better be looking forward to it.
A little belated birthday present, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
there we go. All right. Well, the Stone Eye, everybody check them out. And I will talk to you guys later. Hopefully we'll see you in Columbus.
Hopefully you will.
Excellent.
Yep.
All right. Later.
Later.
Later.